This is Deacon Joe Pusateri from St. Walter in Roselle, and this is the fourth in our series of 6 sessions on Pope Francis's latest encyclical letter, Fratelli Tutti. In this session, we'll be discussing Chapter 5 of the encyclical, entitled A Better Kind of Politics. A better kind of politics, Pope Francis says, is truly at the service of the common good, and truly open to people, which makes it one of the most valuable forms of charity. Francis goes to lengths to explain the problems with the populism of today, which exploits the vulnerable for short-term gains. He also criticizes a form of liberalism which serves the economic interests of the powerful. Let's start with some definitions. He defines populism as a political program that champions or claims to champion the common person, usually against a real or perceived threat by the elite or establishment. It's the regular person against the system. By contrast, popular leaders are those capable of interpreting the feelings and cultural dynamics of a people and significant trends in society. The service they provide by their efforts to unite and lead can become the basis of an enduring vision of transformation and growth that would also include making room for others in the pursuit of the common good. A better kind of politics fundamentally works for the common good of people through protecting the dignity of human work, tackling poverty, and aiming to find solutions to social problems which deny fundamental human rights, including hunger, human trafficking, and other social exclusions. He brings all of these things under an umbrella of charity. The charity he envisions is well ordered, and that order is protected by law. That when gathering or marshaling the resources of society, they're put in the service of all, rather than just a few. This requires a change of heart, attitude, and lifestyles. To do this, we must put economics at the service of the common good. We must recognize that the marketplace by itself cannot resolve every problem, yet neither can any system by itself ensure a bright future. Both approaches fail to take into account human weakness. Pope Francis repeats a critique that the international community wasted an opportunity for reform after the financial crisis of 2007 and 2008. He says, indeed it appears that the actual strategies developed fostered greater individualism, less integration, and increased freedom for the truly powerful, who always find a way to escape unscathed. Francis also notes that the need for reform at the United Nations and international finance institutions, so that the family of nations can acquire real teeth. Yet he also calls for clear legal limits to avoid power being co-opted by only a few countries. This power might allow them to effect cultural impositions, or even worse, restrictions on the basic freedoms of the weaker nations. He then reiterates his concept of social or political charity. At its heart is the statement that bishops of Portugal have taught, that the earth is lent to each generation, to be handed on to the generation that follows. This entails working for a social and political order whose soul is social charity. This social love makes it possible to advance toward a civilization of love, to which all of us can feel called. Charity, with its impulse to universality, is capable of building a new world. Love is expressed in those acts of charity that spur people to create more sound institutions, more just regulations, and more supportive structures. It follows that it's an equally indispensable act of love to strive to organize and structure society itself so that one's neighbor will not find himself in poverty. He repeats it by saying, it's an act of charity to assist someone who's suffering, but it's also an act of charity to work to change the social conditions that caused his or her suffering. Finally, Francis gives us a way to measure our success at a personal level, with a series of 7 real and potentially painful questions. How much love did I put into my work? What did I do for the progress of our people? What mark did I leave on the life of society? What real bonds did I create? What positive forces did I unleash? How much social peace did I sow? And what good did I achieve in the position that was entrusted to me? I think it's through these little changes that the soil of society